Clean pull-ups are probably one of the biggest fitness flexes. I'd hazard a guess that if you took a random group of people off the street, maybe 1 in 20 could complete a pull-up. And when it comes to learning how to pull up, there are common mistakes that could either roadblock you to your first pull-up or severely limit your ability to progress in your pull-ups. But first, I'm going to assume in this video that you've already got the basics down. I'll assume that you're already getting the volume that you need with the resistance band support that will do the most to ensuring that you've developed the muscle and the motor pattern efficiency to get you to that first unassisted pull-up. I'll also assume that you're working with pull-up negatives and using this progression to bridge the gap between where you are now and where you want to get to. If you're not, I have a full pull-up tutorial that I'll link down in the description below. But if you are and you're still getting frustrated and you're just wondering if you should just stick to lat pull downs, then this is the video for you. Because the first mistake when it comes to beginner pull-ups is the wide grip. Now, to be honest, this is an issue that I see mostly with men, and I think it's a symptom of men having naturally wider shoulders and poorer shoulder flexion mobility than women. But first, let's clarify why wide grip pull-ups are a problem, at least just for beginners. Well, even though wide grip pull-ups mean the range of motion is shorter, which in theory should make pull-ups easier, they're significantly more challenging because we're lengthening the lever arm. The further we have our arms from our body, the less force we'll be able to create to pull, and so our pull-ups become more challenging. To throw another spanner in the works as well, contrary to popular belief, wide grip pull-ups do not work the lats more either. And the cherry on the cake is that wide grip pull-ups also offer a little bit more of a risk in that bottom position. With wide grip pull-ups, when we're in that bottom position, we rest our body weight on the passive structures of our elbow and shoulders. And if these joints aren't conditioned to be up for the task, this can lead to some real issues. And sometimes this wide hand placement is just a product of the bar that we end up using, so it's important to choose a pull-up bar that allows us to dictate the width of our hand position, not the other way around. Training pull-ups later in your session is another thing that's going to be hurting your pull-up progress as well, because pull-ups demand a lot of our muscles, yes, but as a new movement, it demands a lot of our central nervous system. Hold your weight on a bar, create full body tension, depress and pinch back the shoulders while at the same time pulling our whole body weight. Don't flare the elbows. Oh, and don't forget to breathe, because, breathing is kind of important for living. Coordinating all of this while under strain is a difficult feat at the best of times, let alone doing it after you've already worked on exercises that you've prioritized above the pull-up. Because let's be honest, that's probably what it is. If you want to work on your pull-ups, but it's the second to last exercise that you work on in your session, then it clearly isn't that important to you, especially if we consider that we ideally want to work on the larger muscles earlier into our session, and the number of muscles and the sheer size of the muscles that the pull-up work should mean it's higher up the chain. And to be clear, this isn't a criticism, and so if you're not prioritizing pull-ups, that's completely fine, but equally, we have to hold ourselves accountable then if we're not seeing the progress that we want to see. If you find yourself swinging during pull-ups, this can also be really annoying. I have a full video on this, so I won't labor the point too much, but when it comes to beginners swinging around on the bar, in an effort to hit the number of reps that we want, we speed from rep to rep and end up swinging. This will limit the amount of time under tension we can place on the muscles that we want to work in the pull-ups, the lats, the delts, the traps, the rhomboids, and therefore limit our overall pull-up development. I think we can all agree that this is not the same exercise as this in the context of improving your pull-ups, and only one will help you, even if you do fewer reps to realize this improvement. Our grip can be another thing letting us down with our pull-ups as well, because if our grip gives out before our larger muscles do, it may mean that we're not training close enough to failure to elicit the response in our muscles to grow. The good news is that improving grip can be a simple fix. Perhaps you can use chalk, or you can use a band with a slightly easier progression to become better at managing the demands on our grip. And actually, by virtue of training the pull-up more, our grip is going to improve. I'd argue that as calisthenics athletes, we don't need to train our grip strength specifically because we naturally just spend so much time on the bar. But crowd, use these tips to level up your pull-up game. And if you want to see how to get your pull-up numbers higher, then check out this video right here.